Hello, this is David from bitwrestler.com. In this bash scripting video lesson number 2, I am going to talk about the if statement. I'm going to tell you what it is and how to use it, and at the end of this lesson I am going to show you how to create a simple game that demonstrates the usage of the if statement. So what is an if statement? An if statement is a feature of a programming language that allows program to perform different action depending on a predefined condition set by the programmer. A good real-life analogy to the if statement is a fork in the road. Take a look at this drawing. Whether you make a right or left depends on what you feel like eating, and what you feel like eating is the condition. For example, if you feel like eating burgers, then you make a left to go to a burger restaurant to eat burgers. And if not, you can make a right to go to a steak restaurant to eat steaks. An if statement operates in the same way. When a condition in an if statement is true, it performs an action, and if not, it performs another action. Let's look at the structure of an if statement. Here are the three basic structure or syntax of an if statement. All three structures start with an if, has at least one condition, and ends with fi. Also note that the syntax requires you to have a space in front and behind the condition. If you don't have the space behind and in front of the condition, Bash will give you an error when you try to run the script. Let's look at structure number 1. The condition is located between these brackets. If the condition evaluates to true, then code between these curly brackets will be executed. If the condition evaluates to false, then the code located between these curly brackets will be ignored. Structure number 2 is similar to structure number 1, except that it has an else in it. The condition is located within these two brackets. If the condition evaluates to true, then codes within these curly brackets will be executed. If the condition evaluates to false, then codes within these two brackets after the else will be executed instead. The else statement allows the program to execute codes that are located in these brackets if the condition evaluates to false. Structure number 3 has condition 1 and condition 2. In addition, it also has an else if statement. Use this structure when you want the program to only evaluate condition number 2 if condition 1 is false. For example, if condition 1 evaluates to true, then codes within these curly brackets will be executed, and codes within these curly brackets and these curly brackets will be ignored. If condition 1 evaluates to false, then the program will flow to this else if statement where condition number 2 will be evaluated. If condition number 2 evaluates to true, then code within these curly brackets will be executed, and if not, then code within these curly brackets will be executed instead. Note that in order for the program to evaluate condition number 2, condition number 1 must evaluate to false. Now that you know the basic structure of an if statement, let's learn how to form the condition expression. There are many ways to form a condition, and in this lesson I will only talk about the conditions that allows you to make comparison between two numbers. A condition can consist of what programmers call operators. There are different kinds of operators, but for this lesson I will talk only about arithmetic relational operators. Arithmetic relational operators are used to make comparison between two numbers. For example, you can use them to find out whether or not a number in a variable is greater than, less than, or equal to another number. Here are the different arithmetic relational operators: less than, greater than, less or equal, greater or equal, not equal. The syntax for these operators are usually in the form numbers, operators, and another numbers. For example, let's say you want to find out whether or not a number in variable number 1 is equal to a constant 100. To form this condition, you would type in the variable number1 space dash EQ space 100. Here's the code for a guessing game that I've created that demonstrate the usage of an if statement. The objective of this game is to guess the random number generated by the computer. This program would tell you if your guess is correct, too high, or too low. By using this information, you will eventually come up with the right number. This game uses the if statement to compare your guess to a number located in the variable answer. Try this game out by pausing the video, typing in the code, and running the script. There's a lot more to the if statement than what I've discussed in this lesson. The aim of this lesson is just to give you a good foundation. If you have any question or comment, please post them in bitwrestler.com forum. Thank you.